Hello, I'm Ela,
And I'm Zach.
and you've probably watched by now the iMovie that Zach made about how to record Audiovista using iMovie on a Mac, the YouTube video that Zach made. We're going to show you now how to do roughly the same thing with Movie Maker on a Windows machine. In case you've gotten stuck with a Windows machine for some weird reason, this way you can still make your Audiovista and you can share it with all your friends, and so you can still be happy and you can still be part of the Audiovista community. So the first thing that you'll notice is we have a folder here open with our source material. We've got 4 images we've taken. We took these with a Ricoh Theta, and we have 4 sound files that we recorded, and these were recorded in this case actually with an iPhone. And so for instance, if I double click on one of the images, we can quickly see it using Windows Photo Viewer. And these images are equirectangular, which means they're twice as wide as they are tall. And the first thing we have to do is we have to modify each of these images just like we did on the Mac so that they're not equirectangular but rather 16 to 9 ratio. And to do that, I'm going to show you how to use something that you all have on your Windows machine, which is Paint. So if you right click on the name of the image, then you can go to Open With, and here is Paint. And opening in Paint, I'm going to zoom down so we can actually see the picture. So there's our picture. And to resize it, we're just going to click on the resize button here. And right away, if I go to pixels, I can actually see the original pixel values. And indeed, 2688 is half of 5376, so it's 2 to 1. And we're going to change that. So to change that, we have a nifty way for you to do that. Go to percent mode. We need to make it a little bit taller. And unclick Maintain Aspect Ratio. And then you can actually make the vertical 112% of the original. And that will make it almost exactly 16 to 9. So hit OK and watch the image grow.
If you're using software that isn't Paint, you might be able to do 112.5%, which is the actually exactly correct ratio you want to change to, but Paint won't let us enter non-integers.
Yes, because they're evil. So now we've got our picture. It's got the right aspect ratio. I'm going to hit the Save button up here, the logo, and that saves the image. We've already done this to the other 3 images, so now we're ready to go. All 4 images now are 16 to 9 and therefore ready for action. So the next thing we need to do is start our video editing software. In this case, we're going to use Movie Maker. I actually recently put Movie Maker on this machine. It didn't come with Windows 7, but it's easily available and it's free to download. So we thought that's a useful tool for teaching you. So here's Movie Maker when it starts up. It's completely empty. And the easiest way we found is to start with the imagery, because you can't put sound files in Movie Maker until you have images there. So take your first image, which is going to be this explorable 360 bubble that of course you'll back with some narration or audio, and simply drag it in. And when you do that, because it's just a still image, Movie Maker will actually spread it out over some time. Here it's spreading it out for 7 seconds. And if you go to Edits, you can actually see the duration here. Make the duration something really huge. I like 240 seconds because it'll be much, much longer that way than my audio file, and then I can trim it back down to the right length. So now we've got a single still image. That's our whole movie. Now I'm going to go and drag over the corresponding audio file, sound 1, and I'm going to put it right near the beginning. Didn't put it completely to the beginning. I can actually drag it back all the way to the very beginning if I want. And if you want silence, so that somebody's exploring the bubble of imagery before the audio starts, you could have, of course, dragged it forward and left a little bit of a silent gap. I also want to trim the end of my movie so that this image is explorable right until the audio ends, because I made my audio silent at the end anyway already. So I'm going to click here to bring the cursor down here. Sometimes it won't click where I want, so I drag it there. And then I hit Set Endpoint, which is basically a trimming tool. And there we go. So I can actually try this. I can click up here, hit the space bar, and listen. This is where we store all the supplies we need for bees. And I just hit the space bar to pause it again. So that's basically how we put a single spherical image and audio on there. I'm just going to do that now rapidly, repeatedly. So here's image 2. Set it to be a lot of time, 240, enter. And then grab sound 2. And trim to right there.
And then we'll just repeat that process, of course, with however many other images and sounds you've got.
Okay, so now we've actually got the 4 static images and all 4 audio files in here. I can even click and look at the transitions. Put my cursor here.
We've laid the frame.
Very good. So now that we have the draft of our Audiovista done, we have to get it out of Movie Maker. So we come up here to Save Movie. We're going to do high definition display because remember, this image is very wide angle. It's 360. When you're actually viewing it on an iPhone, for instance, you're going to be looking as if through a keyhole through a tiny part of it. And that part's going to be blown up. So you really want the highest definition possible. So we go high definition display, and MP4 is the important format that we need this to be in. I'm going to call it beehive.mp4, and we hit save. And now it will start saving it. And this will take something like 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll have our finished MP4. Okay, we're back.
Did it.
And we have the movie. So I'm going to just close. I'm not going to play from here. And since we've exported it successfully, we think, I'm going to exit out without actually saving the project because I don't need to edit any further. And here we have Beehive MP4. Let's give it a try. I'm just trying to double click it.
The bee house.
There it goes.
This is where we store all the support tools that we use. You can actually see one of the bees landing inside the beehive.
Cool. So I'll exit that.
Here's some shallow.
So we have our video. Now the next step is, this is just a flat video. If we uploaded this to YouTube, we would see it in this exact same format that you're seeing it now. It wouldn't be explorable in a 360 way using the accelerometers and gyros in your phone. So we need to give it metadata. We need to give it a special tag inside the file. And the tool for doing that is the fancifully named Spatial Media Metadata Injector tool. SME for short. I tried to install the SME executable on this computer, which looks like so. And it doesn't work on this particular Windows 7 machine, although I have reports of it working on other Windows 7 machines. If you were to click it, the right thing that would happen is you'd get a little window where you open your file and make the change. When it doesn't work, you get a black window like a DOS command shell, and it quickly exits that and nothing happens. So, since that didn't work, I did what the SME website says to do if that doesn't work, which is to download the source code. That's this. And if you have Python 2 point something installed, not 3 point something because this doesn't work with Python 3, but if you have Python 2 installed, here's how you can run it yourself. Inside the Spatial Media folder, when you unzip this, you have Spatial Media 2.0, Spatial Media, and then here we have GUI.py, that's Python source code, and GUI means it's the graphical user interface. So I'm just going to double click on that. And when I double click on that, I get the shell that it's running in, and I get the graphical window. So there we are. So now we're going to click open, and we're going to open up our video, which is beehive.mp4, open. So now it's open, and you'll notice on here, it doesn't have any metadata yet. Now I'm going to hit inject metadata, and it's going to save it as beehive injected. Save. Once I do that, check this out. Now it has metadata. Spherical equals true, stitched equals true. So we're done. So now I can quit this program, and if we go back to our original window, now you'll see we actually have an injected MP4. That's the one here that you're going to want to upload to YouTube. When you do, it might at first play like a regular video. Give it some time. It can take anywhere from 2 minutes to an hour for YouTube to transform it into an explorable 360. But when it does so, then you will have an Audiovista that you can pan and tilt inside of, and with your phone, if you install the YouTube app, whenever you click on that URL for that YouTube video, it'll automatically launch the YouTube app, and then you'll be able to move your phone around with or without goggles on and actually have a nice interactive window into the movie. So thank you very much and good luck.